planetary power.
If you don't start answering questions, I'll yank your memory circuit and dissect it back at the lab.
What are you doing?
You want me to pull your hearing sensors too?
Sir?
Nobody leaves.
What am I?
Today's wonderful video is brought to you by the wonderful Squarespace. The humans in Star Wars are all racist scum. Out of all the things Disney doesn't understand about Star Wars, droids seem to be one of the biggies.
How rude!
The way people regarded droids in the original trilogy was handled quite well. It added so much to the story.
No, please don't get up.
The people in the Star Wars universe knew that droids were manufactured machines with manufactured personalities. They were as attached to them as we would be to a toaster or an Alexa device. They were replaceable machines no matter how much we, the audience, grew to love them. And that was the point.
But that R2 unit is in prime condition, a real bargain.
Having two characters that were always out of place, being around the main conversation gave the audience something to latch onto in this unusual universe.
How did we get into this mess?
George Lucas even said that C-3PO and R2-D2 were the narrators of the story. These two guys helped guide the viewer through the story and what to feel in this extraordinary world. It was a clever little trick by George that helped the youngest fans follow the story as well as follow the emotion.
R2, I really don't think we should rush into all this. Oh, R2!
And the fact that everyone treated droids like machines only added to the feeling that we're in a far-off world.
What?
Your droids. They'll have to wait outside. We don't want them here.
And we could imagine what it would be like to have talking machines. And now that we do, I treat my Google device exactly the same way as Han treated C-3PO, wishing it would just occasionally shut up. Scenes like C-3PO just turning his back on R2 when they're about to be separated forever reminded us that these were just machines that could be replaced any time in this harsh universe. And my God, we'd only just learnt they were good friends.
R2-D2, it is you! It is you!
It was the same when people would just shut them up or just turn them off. Yes, in this world, droids were just machines.
Thank you.
The prequels held up pretty well besides the odd cringe-inducing line. But that all started to change when Disney took over, especially when we got to the Solo movie. Yes, thanks to the film killer, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, droid rights were now going to be a thing, as well as droids wanting sex, even sex with humans. Thanks Disney, the child-friendly sexless droids that kids could latch onto to feel like they were hanging around the adults could now be sexually aroused and desiring human needs and wants. What part of the circuitry would trigger those emotions?
How would that work?
That works.
You like it like this, don't you?
I later, harder.
Too late, I'm done.
So more and more we are seeing the droids, especially in their death scenes, being treated like living, loving creatures, crying at their deaths like loving companions, or scratching their bellies like living, breathing pets.
I'm so glad to see you!
A very strange development in this universe. If this was a different story, it could be an interesting thing to explore. But Star Wars established long ago that this wasn't the case. That droids were just machines.
All right, shut up. I'll take this. Shutting up, sir.
Well, fast forward to the latest Mandalorian episode, and we're now moving into Blade Runner I Am Robot territory, with droids flirting in laneways, hanging around private bars, and fearing a human takeover.
There are concerns among my customers that we will be replaced.
By what?
Humans.
What? As if we're going to let all the humans do the work. Oh well. Never was explained in Andor why humans that need to shit and eat and can die were used over machines to build the massive planet-sized Death Star. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. But we're not here to upset the Andor faithful because they're more sensitive than Last Jedi fans. Yes, hanging around a bar and having sexual needs, that's as far as the Disney imagination goes. Machines now desire human satisfaction. But if this is now the case, how does that reflect on all our human characters? Well, makes them look like horrible, bigoted assholes. Which is strange because with Pedro recording his lines while on the toilet, and Katie Sackhoff, for some reason, has been told to deliver every line like she's just found out she has an STD from her one night in Vegas. With those two being so stiff, the droids are coming off as the more sympathetic characters in this story. Mando and Bo-Katan are coming across as if they're the soulless machines.
What are you doing?
You're wasting your time. You can't reason with droids.
Now let's just hold on for a second while I thank today's wonderful sponsor, Squarespace. Now people always ask, Robot Head, you and Squarespace have worked together a long time now. Are they really that good? And all I can say is yes, they really are. So if you are starting a small business or you've got one that's already going, you really need a place to have all your goodies where people can find you whenever they need you. And that place is your website. Every Squarespace site starts with a modern, professionally designed template that's really easy to customize and make your own. Make it look great with photo galleries, portfolios, and eye-catching video backgrounds. And that's it. You're ready to go. You can even set up an awesome shop to sell all your own products. And one fantastic feature that'll actually help you make money is you can set up your own members area where people can pay you directly to get your content. So there's no middleman taking out some huge chunk. Plus no one can just decide to make all your content disappear because you said the wrong thing one day. Oh yes, it's going to happen to me one day. But that's okay because I've got an awesome website with Squarespace and you should too. So just go to squarespace.com/robothead. You can sign up for a free trial. Yes, free, we all like that. Which lets you design your complete website to see how it's going to work for you. Then when you've got that website looking just right and you want to start making that cash, use the code ROBOTHEAD at checkout and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. Use that link below. So come on, join the free world of not having a boss. Design that awesome website, get it out to the world and get moving. We even have one of the droids take off, fearing for his life. Where he's heading, well, no one knows. In one of the weirdest chase scenes we've got from Disney, which is saying a lot because Star Wars now specializes in really awkward chase scenes. But don't worry, the chase ends with Bo-Katan saving Mando again. She's a hero. Now, if Disney wanted to explore the evolving state of the droid evolution, then that could be interesting. I Am Robot and Blade Runner both explored those ideas and what it could look like to have our robots become more like us.
What am I?
But this is Lucasfilm, where nothing is thought out and ideas are just dumped on screen like a mountain of human waste. The droids in Disney Star Wars haven't evolved. They're just written to have always been this way, which makes every human character we've seen in Star Wars since the beginning a bunch of horrible, horrible bigots.
All right, shut up.
Shut him up or shut him down.
Alternative in extreme circumstances, the Empire may be gracious enough.
Before getting to the android Blue Oyster Bar, Mando just decides to start kicking droids.
Excuse me.
Replace the droids in any of these scenes with someone that's a minority, and boy does Star Wars get really dark really quickly. What are we meant to feel here? Who's the bad guy? Are they loving beings who like belly rubs, hanging out in bars, flirting, falling in love, having sex with each other, having sex with humans?
L3!
Running when scared? Are they beings that fear for their future?
The New Republic would send them to scrap.
Or are they just machines that can be executed in the street without a care? Because creating a world where droids are both living creatures and things that can be executed in the street really makes our heroes look like terrible people. It's a stupid and avoidable corner that the writers shouldn't have written themselves into.
You should have left them alone.
But Lucasfilm was so lost in this mess of trying to write Star Wars that they thought even having a morgue scene for a dead droid made sense.
These are the remains of the latest malfunctioning droid.
And that's only topped off by the scene that mimics taking blood from a human.
You're f***ing kidding me.
It's a f***ing machine. Modern Star Wars is just content made by creatively barren morons for other morons. But we'll give some credit to the digital department, who made the scary monster that's running the morgue. You'd swear that was in the room.
It's illegal.
So now that Disney have decided to make droids a true living subculture of the Star Wars universe, we now just have to decide who is the bigger bastard. Obi-Wan, who just said, "Oh dear," when his droid's head got ripped off.
Oh dear.
Or Han, who had a long history of abusing droids. And shrugs when R2 was destroyed.
My goodness!
Well, I suppose I could hotwire this thing.
Or Mando, who is seriously putting Han to shame with his excessive cruelty.
If you don't start answering questions, I'll yank your memory circuit and dissect it back at the lab. You want me to pull your hearing sensors too?
Disney can't decide who is good or bad. They can't decide who the heroes are. And now they can't even decide what the hell droids are.
Why not turn them all off?
Oh yes, if only the writers had remembered about the restraining bolts that have existed in Star Wars since the first 10 minutes of A New Hope.
He says the restraining bolt has short-circuited his recording system. If you remove the bolt, he might be able to play back the entire recording.
Yes. Who am I kidding? The writers of this show probably haven't even watched A New Hope.
Restraining bolts. Barbaric.
Congratulations, you're liberated. Scoop.
Why not turn them all off?
Well, I'm sure besides all the terrible droid story, everything else in this episode was probably amazing.
And we fell in love.
Oh no. Wow. Hitting you lows all the time.
Until our paths meet again.